Canelo Alvarez tells the truth about Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford gets in his feelings about it. Canelo said other than Earl Spence, he ain't really beat no real good fighters.
When people say you're too small, outmatched, or don't belong in the ring with a certain fighter, that's when great fighters shine. Crawford told boxing scene Amir Khan is the only fighter to have shared the ring with both Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford. The former unified super lightweight champion moved up to middleweight in May 2016 for a WBC title shot against Canelo. Despite a strong start, Khan was brutally knocked out in the 6th round. 3 years later, at his more natural weight of 147 pounds, Khan challenged Crawford for the WBO welterweight title. The result was similar, he was dropped in the 1st round before Bud secured a 6th round TKO victory. Now, Canelo and Crawford are set for a blockbuster showdown later this year, a battle between two of boxing's pound-for-pound greats. But according to Khan, there's another fighter he faced who hits even harder.
Made official? Is it official?
It's on, baby. September 13, baby. Look forward to it. Crawford versus Canelo.
Who heard it?
Listen how I said it.
Hey, are we getting this confirmation?
That's BS, it's for wimps, McIntyre told The Ring when asked if they would request a rehydration clause for Canelo. This is boxing. If you step on the scale, make weight, and accept the fight, then it doesn't matter how much you rehydrate. Get in the ring and fight like men, it's that simple. Terence Crawford is determined to prove his greatness against Canelo Alvarez. He downplays the weight difference, believing that true champions rise to the occasion in these moments, showing the world what they're made of.
The crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won. He went up and lost. You know, so let's not do that.
Crawford has already expressed frustration with Canelo Alvarez, who criticized the level of competition Bud has faced in his career. Now, his trainer, Brian McIntyre, has also taken aim at the Mexican star. The issue? Canelo's reported demand for a rehydration clause, which limits how much a fighter can weigh after the official weigh-in. However, Crawford won't be subjected to this restriction and has no intention of imposing one on Canelo, even if he comes in heavier. We don't care about that. You can only go up to a certain point, and if you go past that, that's your problem, McIntyre stated. The first thing Canelo said was that he wanted the fight. If Terence has no issue with it, neither do I.
The biggest fight in the game.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like when you're looking at Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis, this is the next thing.
The tension finally erupted when a shove led to Canelo landing a short, sharp blow to Crawford's chest, prompting those nearby to rush in and break them apart. Security quickly intervened, preventing the situation from escalating further. But the message was clear, this fight was personal. Canelo, smirking, dismissed Crawford's challenge, muttering that Bud was too small and not worth his time. However, insiders say the confrontation didn't stop there. As both fighters were escorted away, they continued trading verbal shots. Crawford taunted Canelo, calling him a cherry picker and mocking his past fights, while Canelo reportedly told his team, "This guy doesn't know what he's asking for, he's about to get hurt."
No, that's 2 more weight classes. Like, once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo, he's going to slow down.
The tension between Crawford and Canelo has only escalated, reaching a boiling point during a recent airport encounter. Both fighters were in the same location for a meeting with Turki Alalshik when a verbal exchange quickly turned heated. Canelo, with a cold stare, took a jab at Crawford, claiming he didn't belong at 168 pounds. In response, Bud fired back, calling out Canelo for his past fight conditions, turning the moment into a near-physical confrontation.
Eso. Venga.
While most people doubt that Terence Crawford, who has never fought beyond 154 pounds, can defeat Canelo Alvarez at his usual weight of 168 pounds, Crawford has been pushing for this fight for months. Now, it appears to be happening in September in Las Vegas, thanks to the efforts of Turki Alalshik.
Crawford could beat him, because Crawford is a big 147 fighter and is strong as well, which a lot of people don't give him the credit for. I think that fight, if it does happen, as long as Crawford stays away and just
Speaking on the Ahat Live podcast, Amir Khan revealed that the hardest puncher he ever faced was Marcos Maidana. Marcos Maidana, I beat him in 2010, but that guy's a beast, Khan said. I don't even remember the first round. The whole fight was a blur. I only started recalling things when I watched it back on TV. What a fight that was exciting, full of speed, power, everything. He was incredibly heavy-handed.
Spence exactly what he's gonna do to him.
No, facts.
Years prior to him dropping him, he told Errol Spence on video, he said, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna show you.
When he hits you, you feel it, Khan said. It's not just a stinging shot. I've been knocked down before without feeling real pain, just flash knockdowns. But with Maidana, his power went through you. Even when he hit you in the ribs from close range, you could feel how heavy his hands were. I have to say, Maidana was the hardest hitter I ever faced. Khan defeated Maidana by unanimous decision in December 2010, retaining his WBA super lightweight title in what many considered one of the best fights of the year.
Get his big bank and get out. His big bank is who? Canelo. He will take that gamble, see if he can beat him. If he beats him, he may go fight better beat it. If he don't beat him, he say, okay, I took it as high as I could go. I'm done.
Boxing fans are hoping for another fight of the year contender when Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford finally face off later this year. Former rival Errol Spence Jr. has weighed in with his prediction, acknowledging that Crawford is stepping into an entirely new challenge, not just in weight but in sheer physicality. Canelo has built his legacy by dominating bigger opponents, making this a risky leap for Crawford in the eyes of many. Despite the doubts, Crawford's camp remains steadfast in their confidence, believing he has what it takes to overcome the odds.
Full smoke, that was it.
Let's go, man. That's what Crawford wants. He wants to show the world that he's the best, so why put stipulations in there when you know that you can be the best?
For years, Canelo Alvarez has been known for his ability to dictate the pace of a fight, relentlessly walking down opponents with constant pressure. His durability is undeniable, having absorbed shots from power punchers like Gennady Golovkin, Sergey Kovalev, and Dmitry Bivol without breaking down. On the other hand, Terence Crawford has never faced an opponent capable of maintaining that level of power over 12 rounds, and many critics believe that will be the key factor in this matchup. However, Team Crawford sees things differently. They argue that weight and power aren't the only deciding factors in a fight of this magnitude. According to them, Canelo has slowed down significantly in recent bouts, showing clear signs of vulnerability that Crawford can exploit.
There's nothing Crawford brings to the table Canelo hasn't seen. He's seen his boxing ability, he's seen speed, there's nothing that he don't have. He's seen Mayweather, man, he's seen Lara, he's seen all these guys, man. Nothing he brings at a smaller weight too coming back up. Now let's switch it to the other side. Has Crawford seen any?
They point to Canelo's fight against Jermall Charlo, where Canelo failed to secure a knockout against a naturally smaller man, even though Charlo was overly cautious throughout. Even more revealing, they argue, was Canelo's performance against Edgar Berlanga. While Canelo won, he didn't dominate in the way many had expected. Berlanga, who lacks elite-level skills, was still able to have his moments in the fight. For Team Crawford, that alone gives them confidence. If Berlanga, with his limited skill set, could land clean shots, they argue, imagine what could happen when Crawford, a far superior boxer, gets his opportunities.
It makes me laugh with all the antics that Canelo is doing and saying in the media and whatnot about the size and he won't get no credit and all this type of things, but Canelo been fighting smaller.
Crawford is renowned for his ability to break opponents down mentally before finishing them physically. His tactical adjustments have been a key to his success, and his fluid stance switching could present serious problems for Canelo. The Mexican champion has always been methodical in his approach, preferring to counterpunch and exploit openings rather than overwhelming his opponents with volume. However, Crawford's ability to constantly change angles and looks could disrupt Canelo's rhythm in a way few have been able to do.
Bud versus Canelo, based on last fight, is a 50-50. So Canelo fights an undisputed champ, up-and-coming former champion, and an up-and-coming undefeated contender. And somehow those three last opponents are somehow compared to Bud's Madrimov fight, making it a 50-50 fight? Wow.
Canelo's most vocal supporters, however, dismiss these claims, arguing that Crawford's success has largely come against smaller fighters who lack the defensive skills needed to survive at the elite level in higher weight classes. They highlight that Errol Spence Jr., the biggest name on Crawford's resume, was drained and visibly weakened when they fought. Furthermore, many believe Crawford has never faced true power. While he dominated against Spence, Sean Porter, and Kell Brook, none of these fighters hit like Canelo. Unlike Spence, who is flat-footed and easy to hit, Canelo possesses elite head movement and defensive awareness. Team Canelo believes Crawford will quickly realize he's up against a different kind of fighter once the opening bell rings.
For me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight. For me, easy money. So if the money is right, I'm in. Because, you know, I don't like to fight guys like...
Another factor is Canelo's vast experience at the highest level. He's shared the ring with the likes of Floyd Mayweather, Gennady Golovkin, Miguel Cotto, and a long list of top-tier champions. Even in his losses, Canelo has demonstrated an ability to learn from his experiences and evolve. Crawford, despite his greatness, has never been pushed to make those kinds of adjustments in a fight. However, McIntyre and his team don't view this as a disadvantage. In their eyes, Crawford hasn't been forced into those wars because he hasn't needed to be. They believe his dominance is a testament to his mastery, not an indication of an easy career path.
Yeah. Like you said, I will give you Terence Crawford could be in and out. He can't, because he's that good of a boxer. You can't get Canelo's getting this more injustice.
Outside the ring, the build-up for this fight has already turned personal. Canelo, who usually maintains a cool and professional demeanor, has been unusually dismissive of Crawford, more so than any opponent in recent memory. He's made it clear that he doesn't respect the challenge, calling Crawford a small guy and laughing off the notion that Crawford could be a real threat. Crawford, never one to back down, has fired back at every opportunity. He believes Canelo's arrogance will be his downfall and is more motivated than ever to expose what he sees as weaknesses in the Mexican superstar. Even during their private meeting with Turki Alalshik, tensions were high. Canelo reportedly brushed past Crawford with a smirk, only for Crawford to mutter, "Laugh now, cry later."
You know, that's what everybody want to see. The only way they can be answered is if me and Canelo is in the ring when we fight.
There's also speculation about the judges, given Canelo's history of receiving favorable scorecards in close fights. Crawford's team is well aware of this and has made it clear that they won't leave the outcome in the hands of the judges. This suggests that Crawford will be looking to push the pace early, potentially testing Canelo's gas tank, which has been questioned in recent years. Another layer of controversy surrounding the fight is the involvement of Turki Alalshik. Some fans believe the Saudi backer is more focused on making Crawford the star of the event, given his admiration for underdog stories. Others argue that Canelo remains the bigger draw, and the behind-the-scenes politics will ultimately favor him. Regardless, both fighters know that the business side of boxing can be just as cutthroat as the sport itself.
It happened in boxing, you know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that favor Canelo is that, you know, is his weight.
Yeah.
And that he's more bigger. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing. But as far as skill set wise, IQ, I feel like Crawford can match anybody and probably do.
A major concern for Canelo's team is Crawford's mindset. They've noted that Crawford thrives off being doubted, and in his eyes, this is just another opportunity to prove people wrong. He's always believed that the more an opponent underestimates him, the more dangerous he becomes. Despite the size difference, many insiders believe Crawford has the speed and sharpness to land at will, especially if he can keep the fight in the center of the ring. They argue that Crawford has a real chance to outbox Canelo over 12 rounds. However, if Canelo is able to trap him against the ropes, his bodywork could take a significant toll, making it harder for Crawford to sustain his movement throughout the fight.
I can't go down anymore. But you know, like he say, you know, when they ask him for the Germonta fight, they don't wanna get credit for that fight. It's the same for me. I don't need to take that fight because everybody's gonna say this too small.
Regardless of how things unfold, one thing is certain, this fight is as much about legacy as it is about money. Canelo doesn't want to be the fighter who loses to a naturally smaller opponent, while Crawford is determined to cement his status as an all-time great by accomplishing what many believe is impossible. With both men unwilling to back down, it's only a matter of time before the talking stops and the punches start flying. The boxing world is watching closely, and no matter who wins, this will be a fight that's talked about for years to come.
Like Terence Crawford, I see he wants to fight, he's made it clear. Do fights like that help your legacy, or do you feel like that's something that's not worth it to you?
Everything in my career, every fight make my legacy different and better.
Israel Madrimov's prediction about the upcoming mega fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez has sparked plenty of debate. Known for his brutal honesty, Madrimov didn't hold back when asked about the outcome of the fight, offering an answer that surprised many. After facing Crawford in a tough battle for the WBA light middleweight title last year, Madrimov is no stranger to the champion's skill. However, his bold stance on how Crawford will fare against Canelo has only added fuel to the fire of speculation surrounding this highly anticipated showdown.
The Sheik said that he would be willing to pay whatever you want to fight Crawford. Yeah.
If he's willing to pay whatever I want, comes down.
That'll work. Yeah, so if yeah, you're in. So if
Madrimov's prediction was clear, Canelo Alvarez will win, and not just win, but do so by decision. His reasoning? The difference in weight classes. It's a very different weight class. Canelo will win, I think by decision, Madrimov told Boxing News. While many would expect a fighter like Crawford, who has established himself as one of the most skilled and dangerous boxers of his generation, to have a chance at defeating the Mexican superstar, Madrimov's words cast doubt on Crawford's ability to move up 2 weight classes and claim victory.
I'm not even a fan of that fight. There are too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Now, Canelo...
What made Madrimov's statement even more controversial is how it sharply contrasts with the opinions of others in the boxing world. Canelo Alvarez, who holds multiple world titles in the super middleweight division, is known for being a calculated and powerful fighter who thrives against larger opponents. His ability to absorb damage, combined with his punching power, has made him a feared figure in the ring. Many observers believe that Canelo at 168 pounds will be too much for Crawford to handle, especially since Crawford has primarily been fighting at welterweight.
Everybody keeps bringing up Canelo. I think that's weird, because you have to gain 20 pounds. But they say that's the money fight. That's the mega fight. That's the money fight. That's the only thing that makes sense for Terence Crawford.
Well, catch weight. Can do something.
While Madrimov's take is undeniably bold, he's not the only one voicing an opinion on the mega fight. Jermel Boutsenis, another rising star in the sport, has also weighed in, but his view on the fight is far from one-sided. Known for his slick boxing skills and knockout power, Ennis has called the fight a 50-50 contest. He pointed out that Crawford will be adding an extra 14 pounds to compete at super middleweight, and that could affect his performance. He's going to have to put on an extra 14 pounds, so he might be a little slower, or who knows, he could be faster. I don't know, we'll see on fight night how he'll look, Ennis stated.
They were able to land the Canelo Crawford fight, which was announced. I don't know that it's actually official, but it sounds like.
Despite all the respect Crawford has earned throughout his career, some critics, including Canelo himself, have cast doubt on his track record. Speaking to TMZ Sports, Canelo acknowledged Crawford's talent but quickly downplayed his resume, especially when compared to his own extensive list of victories. Look, I respect Terence Crawford, he's very talented, but he's only won one big fight. If you look at his record, he's only beaten one good fighter. Other than that, he hasn't beaten other top fighters like Spence, Canelo said.
Has the Canelo fight, realistically left your mind once he said he's not interested, or you're still pursuing it?
Not at all. I think business talk. With the right.
Canelo's comments were directed squarely at Crawford's most significant win, his victory over Errol Spence Jr. last year. While many consider this to be Crawford's defining moment, Canelo's statement reflects his belief that Crawford hasn't faced the same level of competition that he himself has. For Canelo, it's not just about the wins, but about the opponents you've beaten along the way. Despite Crawford's brilliance in the ring, Canelo's assessment is that Crawford's resume doesn't quite measure up.
You know, to fight the best fighter in my generation that's out there. You know, he's the most accomplished fighter, and I would just, you know, just like to, you know, fight another great.
Which is a very noble reason. I mean, it's a reason that...
It's not just the size difference that gives Canelo the advantage, his ability to close the distance and apply constant pressure could be a nightmare for Crawford, who excels when he's in control of the distance. In their respective weight classes, both fighters are masters at dictating the pace of a fight, but in a battle of this magnitude, something will have to give. For Crawford, the key challenge will be maintaining his trademark speed and movement while adjusting to Canelo's relentless attack. How do you think this fight will end? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more updates. See you in the next one.
He thought he can go in there and get those belts real quick. That's what he thought with Bivol. Otherwise, he would have never did that. I mean, the Kovalev fight...
I'm sure that's what Jermell Charlo thought with Canelo.
It's not just the size difference that gives Canelo the advantage, his ability to close the distance and apply constant pressure could be a nightmare for Crawford, who excels when he's in control of the distance. In their respective weight classes, both fighters are masters at dictating the pace of a fight, but in a battle of this magnitude, something will have to give. For Crawford, the key challenge will be maintaining his trademark speed and movement while adjusting to Canelo's relentless attack. How do you think this fight will end?
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. For more exciting videos, make sure to hit the bell icon and stay updated. Subscribe to Boxing Hub now for all the latest in boxing.